All right, so let's understand the tokens. I think tokens is the word which will come across with any LLMs. So for now, for example, like I'm just opening Amazon Bedrock and I'm just creating series of Amazon Bedrock, whatever I can explore, I'm just sharing. So if you have logged into Amazon Bedrock like me, so it might cost you something. I mean, if you do not want to just follow up and just watch at your chair, just keep it watching. So for example, let me go to playgrounds. Yeah, let's go to the chat. So what I'm doing is let me show you very clearly, right? So I am on Amazon Bedrock. So once you log into your Amazon account, go to Amazon Bedrock. In Amazon Bedrock, let's understand the tokens, right? But before I explain tokens, because tokens is one of the key thing if you want to understand LLM, right? So token is like input to the model, and also it talks about the output or the response that you get from your model. Here, model, what I mean is foundation model, right? And ultimately, token is not necessarily the words, right? I'll come to that point very shortly. So for example, once you log into Amazon Bedrock, and if I go to the chat window, and here, if I select, let me select Anthropic, uh, yeah, let me select, yeah, this is token actually. If you see up to 200K, that's the token. And remember, you will be charged. So just make sure you will be charged with some amount. It would be minor, but not sure what minor is for you. But I just want to call out very clearly, if you try this step with me, it will charge on your Amazon account. So for example, let me ask Amazon only. So please explain. So I'm just asking model, right? I just select Cloud 3 Sonnet. So please explain me uh, clearly on tokens in LLM. LLM, sorry, LLM, LLM. Okay, I just run it. So in the context of large language model, that's what it says is token is the smallest meaningful units of text that model is trained on and can understand. So this is for model, right? So model is already trained on some tokens, right? So whenever you give prompt, right? So that prompt is tokenized. Tokenized, which means your prompt is going to be divided into the various small parts, right? So if you're giving a big sentence, right? Please explain me clearly on tokens in LLM. It was my mistake, spelling one. But then it's going to divide my prompt into tokens. So maybe it will pick this as one token, then it will pick this guy as another token. It will pick like this much on another token. Then like this. I'll just show you on Chat GPT, the OpenAI model, right? It's one of the example how it does tokenization, so you can see the visually. But then the tokenize your input text is represented in the sense of token embeddings. Embedding is something I'll just cover it in the next upcoming video. But then token is basically, it will help, it will break your text so that your model can really understand that, understand your tokens, right? That's the crux of it. And basically, more or less, right? Why you should be knowing token, because if I scroll down here, if you see, so the response I got in close to 11 seconds, but input token. So this out of this text, right? It it basically created 18 tokens. So it's not necessarily token is like words, right? Because if I count words is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 8 words. But here it says 18, right? So it broken down, it basically break down again this into the subwords. When I say subword like this, sometimes punctuation marks, right? So token can consider that as well. So this whole, it took as 18 tokens. So token not necessarily mean words. Again, I want to repeat. And output, so you get as a 494 tokens. So this is how you got as output and 494 tokens. So now let me quickly show you the demo on how the tokenization works on uh, OpenAI, right? So if I switch to OpenAI, I'll just put this link in the description, right? It's basically you just go to the same URL platform.openai.com tokenizer, and I just put the same text, and yeah, you see. So here, I mean OpenAI, right? So of course, every foundation model will have their own tokenization method, right? But if I want to try in OpenAI or ChatGPT, right, it's going to create 10 tokens. Even though the words are 10, sorry, words are 8, but which 10 tokens? So you see, please is one token, explain and this space, right, including this guy. This is another token, right? And then me. So it's starting with this space and without trailing space of me, right? So clearly with prevailing space, right, the pre-space on tokens, IM is separate word. In LLM also, that's very interesting because it says L and then some space, right? It just includes this is tokens. So what it says, right? And this is not about generalized understanding, but what OpenAI says on its model, right? How it creates token. So basically for OpenAI, or I might be wrong, right? But this is coming from their website. So basically what OpenAI does is it basically takes roughly 4 characters from a single word. But then if I want to be accurate, what it says, 3/4 of a word, right? So basically, if there are 75 words, it will create 100 tokens, right? So 100 tokens, 3/4 is 75 words, right? So this is how it will try to take 3/4 of a word, something like 3/4 of a word. So if I go to like this, right, 3/4 of a word. Here it's not clearly word, right, because it took the full word as a please. But then it represents like 3/4 of a word as a one token. That's what it says. And then every token, once tokens are generated, that token will get the token IDs. So this is what it gives ID. So you see, so there are 10 tokens, every token got the ID. And again, once, so there are two steps, right, which I mentioned so far. So one is you give the prompt. That prompt is basically converted. I mean, prompt is nothing but you ask something to your model, right? And then that model is broken down into the this many tokens, right? Not necessarily the words. It could be subword, as I mentioned. Maybe I can give you some example. What is AWS Bedrock, for example? Okay, it gives three. Let's see. Uh, oh no, I just tried something else. I just give like example. What is AWS Bedrock? And I want to see the text. So you see, so bad, so it treated bad as a separate word. So that's what I mean. It takes, so it did not took a bedrock as a single word, right? It took a sub word. So bad and then prevailing space, right? It treated that as a single token, separate token. And token IDs, if I go to here, yeah, these are the 6 different tokens it generated. So basically the idea is that step is that have your full prompt or query, and then it will be tokenized. And then all those tokens, right? So all those tokens, if I go to here, this, all those tokens will get token IDs. And then I will explain you in the next section or next video to be specific, how those IDs are ultimately assigned to the embeddings. Now, again, I don't want to throw a new word embeddings, but then that's what I'm going to cover in the next upcoming session. For now, I just want to make sure you should really understand what are those tokens, not necessarily token are words, but then so that whenever you log into or you use whenever you interact, use foundation models, right? You should be getting idea, okay, what is this guy token, right? So I hope, yeah, this is what it says, right? The number of input tokens used by foundation model during inference, right? When it wants to understand your query and before it generates the response, this is what the tokens are actually used, consumed by your foundation model. That's what it says. If I look, yeah, the output, so number of tokens generated in a response by the foundation model. So I hope this gives very crisp and clear idea about the tokens because you should be very careful. You should be really understood because it might be impacting the cost as well. It might give you idea about which model is more efficient or not. So again, the one quick thought comes if I go to here, Amazon or Anthropic. For example, if I select Anthropic, or let me go to Amazon first. And here if I go down, right? And here it says max tokens, it says 8K. So again, I'm into the Amazon models, the various models of Amazon. If I go to light one, it says it supports 4K tokens. So 4K request and 4K response, right? Now imagine if you want to, if you, so it depends on use case, right? Why token is also useful when you want to select the model as well. So for example, if you have a use case where you need to supply or you need to provide a very long input or prompt to the foundation model, right? And also the likewise otherwise as well, right? So basically when model wants to respond back with the long response, right? So which means you are talking about like lot of tokens in input to the model and lot of tokens when model gives you response, right? So in that case, for example, the use case could be, hey, summarize the Harry Potter book part number two, right? Now it's a very heavy book, right? Very, so that model has to, you know, go through, or if you are really giving some digital copy of some book, any random book, and it's like lot of pages, lot of words, right? Which means you are interacting with lot of tokens, right? So then you need to understand the max tokens, this parameter, right? And if I go to Anthropic, so here you show 4K, right? If I go to Anthropic, yeah, you see here it says 200,000, right? So like it has more capacity. Maybe you can just send a file and then it will work on that full file content. But also remember, the more the tokens, the more computational power, because now you are supplying a more information to the model to work on. So which means model needs more computational power, which means it will directly proportion to your cost as well. So just think these factors, right? And I hope you get some brief idea about what model, what I mean to say. Thanks. And then if you want to learn any specific topics in AI space, just write me on comment. If you do not like something, like me in comment so that I can respond to you, I can help you. And if you want me to cover specific topic, again, I'm telling you, just mention in comment. And if you really like something, come on, that also you should comment. Thank you.